Hello. So we're going to start with the overall energy cards for everyone. May I also say the garden is just smelling absolutely divine today. I've got the honeysuckle over here wafting its glory, and the black lace here. I don't know if you can see any here. Dropping its little flowers on my head, also in its full bloom, and smells divine. So the three cards we have for the overall energy is the Six of Cups, so reminiscing back to some kind of nostalgia, some past events. There may be some kind of childhood sweetheart vibes, or things were much better when, or just looking, it doesn't have to be your childhood, but looking back on a time where you just felt this sense of innocence and joy and beauty, and just really captivated and still curious about the world, and had this sense of innocence about the world, which is lovely. We also have the Four of Pentacles, so holding on tightly. I'm just going to show you that one up close as well. So you have the two little children sharing a posy and a cup. So the cups represent emotion, and it's like giving a little gift of this like cute, sweet kind of gift. Innocence. There's a lot of innocence there. So the Four of Pentacles, it's to do with security. It can be to do with holding on tightly to our security through a fear of loss, through a fear of lack, through a fear of going back to some sort of scarcity. When, we have maybe come from some sort of hardship or gone through some sort of struggle, be this financially or emotionally. I mean, the Pentacles do represent our worldly gains, and like status and money, but they can also represent, our just general stability of our, feelings, our security of our position in life, and our well-being, like whether we are in abundance or scarcity. And a scarcity mindset when we're holding on too tight for fear of loss, for fear of falling back into the past, to a time where we did not feel abundant and secure. And then we get cleansing body and spirit. So yeah, I'm loving the energy on this. Like the mama cat is cleaning the baby cat for a start, which the little baby cat looks very chubby and innocent. But I love myself a bubble bath, and it's just a way to relax, unwind, and recenter with yourself. It's quite meditative, but it's cleansing away and purifying our energy, because I feel there is definitely things from the past maybe coming up here, and maybe we just need to cleanse ourselves away and cleanse away any like negative energy, any fear-based thoughts or delusions I'm also getting about how things used to be, and refresh ourselves, get ourselves a fresh mindset. Okay, I'm also getting that what's going to come up in the readings for all of us is going to be somehow connected to the past, possibly to do with wounding, possibly to do with heartbreak, or a longing, reminiscing and longing feeling. I've not long come back from Portugal, where I don't know if this is the proper pronunciation, excuse my pronunciation, but they have a word that is most of their fado music is based on. And it is Suade, Suade. And it means like a heartache, like a homesickness for either a place, person, or like a feeling of reminiscence about belonging somewhere and being misplaced from that thing that gives you, that fills you with love and joy. There's no direct translation. It's a special Portuguese word for it because many of them were sailors and would be separated from family, friends, lovers and their homelands for long periods of time, both the women and the men. And this Suade is what a lot of their fado music is based on. And I feel that this whole reading has a sense of Suade about it. This longing for a past feeling or a homesickness. So here now are your 3 doors. You have 30 seconds to choose your door. These are all doors that I photographed in Morocco when travelling around Marrakesh and Essaouira. A place that I found that in the Medinas is like just a labyrinth of possibilities, twists, turns, and you don't know where you're going to end up. So they're fitting for that reason. Now entering door number 1. And your stack is here below door number 1. Just to show you, there's door number 1 and this was your stack. So we have 2 cards from the Labyrinth deck. I felt inspired to choose these because I feel like they just have a random dynamic to them. Like they are, if you've seen the film Labyrinth with David Bowie in it, the film with Brian Froud and Jim Henson with the puppet creatures, and you have Hoggle, the little dwarf who guides Sarah, who's Jennifer Connelly, around this big labyrinth, and David Bowie is the Goblin King, and the goblins have abducted Toby, her little stepbrother, and taken him to the heart of the labyrinth, at the centre of the Goblin City. And it's full of like mazes, trapdoors, tricks, everything. And it's just so curious, and you just don't know where you're going to end up, and everything's a puzzle. And I feel like it really relates to Gemini season that we're in now, and the fact that there are multiple intersecting, confusing timelines. And that's why I've chosen cards from that, because that's what I feel like we're trying to unpick at the moment. And the cards we have are the Star, which is beautiful. This is, you know, our wishes, our manifestations, dreaming big. And in the movie, this is Sarah's teddy bear. And she is a very, very nostalgic character. And she like idolizes these things from her childhood. Interesting that we've got that vibe generally floating about of nostalgia, and that we've got a character's teddy bear coming up on the Star card. So wishing for maybe more simple and magical times, this sense of innocence again, this sense of a heartfelt wish, and the childlike mind that really does believe that you can wish upon a star. Then we have the King of Junk. I love the character of this. Oh, you don't want to go that way, never go that way, says the little caterpillar, when actually, and she listens to the caterpillar, and she takes his advice, and then as she walks away, she doesn't hear him. He says, oh, if she'd carried on going that way, she'd gone straight to that castle at the centre of the Goblin City, which actually is incidentally exactly where she needs to go. So he means well, but he's misguiding her from the beginning in a way where it is, he thinks he's protecting her and it's of her benefit and it's the right thing to do to protect her, but actually he's setting her back massively. So I think there is the King of Junk actually in this deck represents the King of Pentacles, I believe. Who is quite slow and steady, wins the race. So it's interesting that they've chosen him to represent that, because he slows her right down, essentially. And so I feel like there is a need to not move quickly. However, be careful of who you are allowing to advise you or limit you in your beliefs and your wishes and your manifestations. Maybe this is about limiting yourself and setting yourself back through fear of failure, through the lens of adulthood. Well, I can't possibly do that because I don't know how, when really you just need to believe and push for it, and the answers will manifest themselves, which is lovely. But don't get caught up in your own negative self-doubt. The next two cards we have are from the Light Seers deck, and we have the Two of Cups. Beautiful, beautiful illustration. I love this card, which is a card of togetherness, a card of giving and receiving, kind of like the kids on the card where he's giving her a posy and they're sharing an emotion. They are connecting to one another in this sort of like, will you be my friend? Yes, I'll be your friend, you know? Like giving, receiving and sharing this connection. And that is what the Two of Cups represents. Two energies coming together, blending harmoniously in balance to complement one another, and it's usually in an emotional way, so an emotional harmony. And then we get the King of Wands, who is our fiery king, represents all of the fire signs. In particular, he represents Mars energy, which rules Aries, and we have got two of the big daddy planets, Neptune, and Saturn has just moved in to Aries as well. So I feel like this is symbolic of that energy. The fact that we've got quite a lot of combustive, fresh, new inspiration, and this is how those planets are ruling in this big, fiery, new inspiration, like new flame, like a new flicker of hope. think they're conjunct actually. 1 minute, I've got a chart here. Let me have a look. Saturn is at 35 degrees. Sorry, 35 minutes. 0 degrees, 35 minutes. Yeah, and Neptune is at 1 degree, 53 minutes. Yeah, so they are conjunct. They are working together. Interesting. They're working together harmoniously to, you know, the fire sign royal cards, it's like go big or go home energy, I suppose. They're very passionate. It's about mastering your passion and wanting to rule and take ownership and pursue your passions and own it through passion. And Saturn is often this naysayer, this, oh, but how are you going to do it? And Neptune's like, don't worry, like, just believe it will. So that is very, very interesting. That is these two characters coming together in a harmonious balance to make it real, putting the practical and the belief together. Lovely. It's like being realistic about your dreams, being real and knowing how to make your dreams real. Fantastic. We then have the Emperor, which is all four kings coming together, which is interesting. So we have a big like power, ownership, independence vibe again, but balanced. We have the Lovers, two energies coming together passionately, giving, receiving, love, passion, intimacy, the swing, the pizzazz, the chika. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles. Reading number 1, doorway number 1. You got some good juju. So the Queen of Pentacles is super abundant, super relaxed, trusts in her own energy. She's not sweating it about the big stuff. She's there, she's made it, and she's basking in it. She's like, yes, I have, got these grapes. I will make my own wine, and I have the patience to see through this process. I have tamed this bird upon my hand. I have nurtured it from day one, and now it just comes when I call it. Patience, like abundance through having committed, stay in a stable manner, in a patient manner, and just that total calm serenity of I've got this. I'm here. I've made it, and I'm just enjoying it all. There is an element of some sort of benefic love interest as well with that, or it could just be like reuniting yourself with your own passion, but there is a sense of reunited passion. We have had that nostalgic Six of Cups. Something, maybe an opportunity, a past passion returning to you. Be that through another person or yourself and your own interests of passion, like activities like art, for example, or drama, or poetry, writing, creativity, creative things, inspiration, about these creative things, a new sense of passion in that way, that you can create something big from pursuing your passions. We then have 2 cards from the archetypes deck. I split them into the groups they exist in, which is the actual archetype, so the characters, the people, the representations of different types of people, the places, the tools which you need to use, and the sort of the magic, the incantation to make it happen. So I only chose cards from the place and the tools, because we already have our character cards with that Star and King of Junk and the King of Wands and the Emperor. We've got characters all over the place already. They are big cards, big cards. So empty room. This is that empty space you need to go, where we had at the beginning, for everybody, we had this cleansing, this need to cleanse out any stale energy, any self-doubt, so that we can go into this empty space. In the void is where the magic happens. Like on a new moon, the dark moon is where we plant the seeds. You know, when a child is like fertilized, you know, that egg implants in the dark space of the womb, then it grows into something. The seeds underground, they come from a dark place before they emerge above the ground into something. It all starts from an empty, dark space. And we have that, the star, that wish, that manifestation. We need to start from that clean, clear, empty space where intention can just grow from it. And we have the flame. And all the way through, I've said passion, inspiration, you know, that new flicker of hope, that reemergence of passion, of our spark coming back. That's the flame. We need to tune into, we need to go into this empty space and find our inner flame, our soul fire. Maybe it would be good to have a bath, dimly lit, or sit in a dark room after a bath or shower, whichever you prefer, or a lovely swim in a tranquil lake. I mean, I'm getting a bit too, you know, romanticized about the abilities that we all have in our daily lives, but anyway. And then meditate on a candle and focus on your intention, or clear your mind and just stare into the candle and ask it for the answers, or stare at it until you get the answers, or stare into it and imagine what it is you wish to have, and focus on really feeling, not just thinking I want this, I want that, like a list. Feeling yourself in it, feeling as if it's happening to you, going into that joy of that passion, of the feeling of having it like it's already here. This is gorgeous. And we had the lovers here, and we have the lovers again from the Beltane Season of the Witch deck. Love lulls all sorrow and bewitches flesh, mind and breath, reminding me that I am unafraid of the furling winds of my eternity. This is that throwing caution to the wind and following your passion and trusting the process. This does not have to be another person. This can be your own passion within yourself, your passion for fulfillment of your desires. It doesn't have to be fulfilled through another person. It can be your own fulfillment with yourself to pursue your passions, whatever they are. And we have 2 cards from the Abyss, which are the Page of Wands and the Knight of Wands. And this is again Page, bringing the message of the passion, of the new inspiration, and the Knight, delivering that message to you of what it is. And look, he has this gorgeous little sprite dancing on his palm to deliver that message. And we even have, check the lady on the card. Yeah, look at her, what she looks like. Wanting to like learn how to find the passion. She's like, I'm on my path to find my passion. Who's in the background? But the woman looking for her passion in the background, and then the message about what it is arrives, delivers. Do that candle meditation to get your answers. And then we have sun and stars. And we started with the star, which I don't know quite how could be more beautiful, really. Trust that the universe will bring it. Look to the stars, trust it. Trust in your magic. Set your sights big, beyond Earth, the whole universe. And trust that the wish upon a star energy can happen. It can manifest. And we've got the sun and the stars, the fire. They're all the stars, the sun, they're all these balls of fire, this passion. All these little fragments of passion. You just reach for which one you want. The furthest one away. Aim for it and wish big. And my God, door number 1, that was just absolutely beautiful reading. We have a full moon coming up in Saggitarius on the 12th, and that is going to be passion and thinking big. Sagittarius is all about mental expansion, about belief and just going for it. So what can I say? Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and have a fabulous full moon in Sagittarius and fabulous manifesting. I want these cards for me. Juicy, delish. Oh, I didn't do your spares. Interesting. Your spares are the 10 of Cups. Complete emotional fulfillment beyond your wildest dreams. Wishes granted. 10 of them. We also have the 3 of Swords. This is triangulation, and this is going back to that, see the head, the whole of the head, and then the knowledge all like pouring in. And these symbols and birds all pouring into his head, but the head is like a vortex. It's almost like too much knowledge. And the 3 of Swords can often represent past pain, heartbreak, and going back to this 4 of Pentacles, this fear of being broken again, and maybe focusing too much in on your logical mind that is trying to protect you from going to a place of pain again. We do have Chiron, the wounded healer, conjunct Venus at the moment, our love planet, our emotion, our, in many ways, self-worth. So we may be being triggered about past emotional wounds, and these wounds may be misinforming us to protect ourselves and stopping us from believing and achieving this. They're what's holding us back from this radical place of emotional abundance and fulfillment. Tears of joy and sadness, and my God, this is very Gemini. The reflection in the mirror, 2 of you, and feeling both sadness and joy at the same time, the parallels. And obviously we can cry tears of joy and tears of sadness. We want to go and heal our tears of sadness, our past heartache, our past woundings, so that we can go on to be that future self, that one in the mirror where it's tears of joy. And knowing that no one can go through life without wounding or mistakes or things not working out. But we don't need to stay there. We don't need to stay in that, oh, this is always what happens to me. It happened this way before, it will happen again. No, that's your logical mind torturing you, frankly, and keeping you stuck in past pain. You need to cleanse body and spirit, mind, and trust. Obviously, don't make massively hasty, risky decisions. You're informed, you know the risks. But just because certain things have happened in the past doesn't mean every single situation is going to end up the same. You need to forgive and trust yourself. You've got this. Now entering door number 2. Door number 2. You chose the pink door. Just caught me having a little snack there between door 1 and door 2. So, first we have 2 cards from the Labyrinth deck. I feel if you're trying to figure out a timeline and navigate an unexpected, uncharted territory, there's no better place to go than the Labyrinth. We are in Gemini season at the moment, and it's a curious sign. It's a sign of curiosity and like unexpected changes and just flowing with it. It's adaptive, and you have to adapt a lot in the Labyrinth. I don't know if you've seen the film with David Bowie, the Goblin King, Sarah, played by Jennifer Connelly, trying to navigate her way through this bizarre kingdom with the puppets by Jim Henson and Brian Froud, who are just so full of character, but they're all trying to trick, confuse, blindside, smokescreen, like falling down trapdoors, changing the direction of the signs. And it's just her, she's trying to get to the Goblin City, which is ruled by the Goblin King, which is played by David Bowie. And is just full of misdirection. But she's trying to rescue her little baby stepbrother, Toby, from the goblins and the Goblin King at the heart of the city. Anyway, we have the Hierophant. We have a full moon coming up in Sagittarius on the 12th of the month in the UK, and the Hierophant is about our sort of spiritual nature, and Sagittarius is very big on quite expansive thinking in this kind of spiritual, expansive way of it doesn't have any limitations. And it is this sort of it can represent people who lead a religion or set of beliefs. And surrounding this Sagittarian full moon, there is a lot of astrological energy that is going to be calling you to reassess your personal beliefs and whether the way you have been going about everything is working for you. Like, how is that belief system going for you? And do you need to expand beyond that? That is what I'm getting for that. And this is Hoggle, who becomes Sarah's guide, almost like her little prophet through the labyrinth. And he makes mistakes. And he's working for the king. He's actually being duplicitous to Sarah and acting like he's helping her, when really he's also working with the king to confuse and fool Sarah. But he comes good, and he becomes honest, and he sees the bigger picture of what's going on, and he's like, you know what, I'm a coward, and serving this king is wrong, and I don't believe in it, and I don't want to believe in it, and I want to be your friend, and I've been lying to you, and I'm sorry, basically. And he humbles himself. So there's something about corruption, innocence, humbling, and belief, and your belief system. And innocence, maybe where our innocence has felt corrupted. We also have the Knight of Junk, which is the Knight of Pentacles. He moves very slowly, and it's putting... Ooh, this is going to slow anyone down. Throwing a whole bunch, it's taking action, almost like action to slow things down. He throws a load of boulders down the hills in the little goblin city that surrounds the castle, to slow them down, divert them, and cause, frankly, chaos. Traditionally, the King of Pentacles is very patient and grounded, almost like a rock. But here he's using that rock to slow down the progress of the person. So there may be, which is very similar to what came up in reading number 1 with these 2 cards, where are you slowing yourself down and haltering your own progress through a lack of belief or an outdated belief system? So slightly different to number 1's reading, but very, very similar. Like, where are you holding yourself back? Where are you slowing yourself down? Where are you stopping the magic from happening? What are you tuning into that is hindering your progress? We also had this card come up at a point in number 1, the 3 of Swords. Triangulation, conflict, past pain. We did have in the opening reading for all the 6 of Pentacles, nostalgia. And we have Chiron and Venus conjunct at the moment, asking us to look at our emotional wounding, our past pains, our heartache, and how do we heal them? How do we move on? How do we heal ourselves from our past traumas? That's what Chiron represents, the wounded healer. And Venus is our planet of love and relationship. This can be relationship to self, relationship with others, but all surrounding romance, love, passion, and self-worth. And we have the 4 of Swords. Lots of Swords cards. We are in Gemini season. Gemini is an overthinker. The Swords cards usually represent overthinking and logic and learning. The 4 of Swords is about finding some peace, protecting yourself, going into your nest and nurturing yourself. Look, so this card, the Three of Wands, it's got all the threads pulled in different directions. The heart is torn, they've tried to stitch it back together. It's been like ripped from the chest and she's tethered to it. It's an entanglement. Here they are calm. The spikes are still there, but they're sleeping peacefully and restfully among the spikes. And what do we have here? We have the heart. The heart is restored. And we have the thread. She's decorated it with little pearls. She's healed it. She's healing. Regenerating. Very. Venus. Conjunct Chiron in Aries. Aries is the big I am. Forgive me for eating crisps throughout this, I'm very hungry. Okay. Our next cards. Hella Swordsy, number 2. Hella Swordsy. You might be an air sign. You might be a Gemini. You might be an Aquarius or a Libra. Or just being really getting confuddled in Gemini season by worry. You might be carrying some anxiety or overthinking energy. We have the King of Swords, an epiphany, clarity, cutting to the chase is what I'm getting. Cutting it through nonsense. We have the Ten of Swords, an ending, some sort of mental clarity, cutting something off to make an ending because it was blindsiding you, like Hoggle, accepting that you've been being blindsided and needing to stop investing in that and say, I'm done with this because it's not my truth, it's not the truth. And you know, my rainbow, my kingdom, what I've built these things on, what I've built my hopes on, is a disillusionment. It's blindfolded me. And my hope is starting to leak out of this situation. And it's caused you some sleepless nights. Look at this like jackal staring. Don't know if you can see it. There's a wolf jackal-like dog staring in between the swords. Feeling kind of stalked and like maybe worrying about having to go it alone. Worried about being the lone wolf. Your worries, your fears about this situation have been hanging over you. You've been afraid of when it's going to fall, when it's going to come undone, and you're afraid of going it alone. Your fear's been hunting you down and you're afraid and had sleepless nights about maybe feeling ostracized, cut off from a group or a situation or a person or something, being out on your ear. But it's just self-doubt. It's those self-doubts that are slowing you down and stopping you from stepping into your truth, stopping you from being able to heal. In order to heal, you need to let go of this worry, this fear. We then have 2 cards from the Archetypes deck. I divided them into 4 piles. The deck is divided naturally into 4 things of the archetype, the person. We've already had our sort of character card with Hoggle up there. And we've got many, we've got the King of Swords here as well. So we've got a couple of characters already on the table. But I divided it into, so we had the people, or the person, the archetype, the place, the setting, and then the tools you're going to use to help you in the situation, and then the incantation or the magic to make it so. What energy magically you need to go into. And so I've just chosen cards from place and tools. So your place is the fault line. And if that is not that heartbreak, the cracks through that heart, the crack, the fault line, the vulnerable point where, like an earthquake, where the thing has gone off, where is it that you break? It's like a breaking point. Maybe you've been pushed to breaking point, or maybe you have broken before and you are afraid. You're afraid, what if I break again? Or what if I break? It's a separation, but it also has all these veins. That spider out. You need to do some massive amounts of healing. And forgive yourself. And nurture yourself. I'm also getting there's two sides to a story. There's two ways it could go. And you're maybe afraid you're just going to slip down the crack in the middle. But you're not. You also get the kiss. And we have two hands. We have the moon phase of a new moon, a new beginning. And this quite unsure hand being held by another. Reconnecting with yourself. And I'm getting the two hands coming together across the fault line. Where there are valleys and where lands separate, we build a bridge. When we connect the two hands together and forgive ourselves, the other side of the river, the people, the ideology, whatever it is, when we hold the hand, we forgive, we connect, we reconnect it. You may be really afraid of like disconnection or being alone or feeling alone, going back to a place of loneliness. Like Hoggle, he was afraid of being traitorous to Jared, the Goblin King. But he was conflicted. It's the fault line, it's the two sides, the conflict. He did not want to betray Sarah. He was being forced to make a betrayal. I feel like there's something's been forcing you to betray your true self. And you need to reconnect with your true self and find some sort of forgiveness and just trust that others will understand. And you will. The people The people that are meant to go will go, and the people that are meant to stay will stay. But you need to honour yourself and be your own best friend and connect with yourself. And those who are truly your people will remain regardless of your choice. And those that don't, we're not meant to be. They're not meant to remain in your life. So we then have Maypole. Quite joyful compared to the cards we've just had. So let's lighten that energy. I'm fertile in what I seed. There is reason to dance and drink upon the riches that I receive. This is knowing that you can be in community with yourself and that you can still have a community and still be abundant, and there are still opportunities open to you if you believe there is still an abundance. You are not the lone wolf. And you will attract, I feel like you will attract a new tribe in. You will attract new, more benefic, more suited, more celebrational, abundant energies to you once you can make this choice and be honest with yourself and reconnect to what that is, what your true self, true desires are. And we have the Hanged One. There's two, this is one of the versions of the Hanged Man card within this deck, which is from the, sorry, that card I just showed you, that is from the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. These two are from the Tarot of the Abyss. And this is like feeling like the whole world is upside down maybe, and so needing to go within and change your perspective. Stand on your head and turn it the right way up. Maybe you need to tip it all upside down to let it all out and air the situation, to cleanse yourself. It's this card of deep meditation and deep self-connection and changing your perspective, changing your outlook in order to reset and reawaken and get back into your sense of self, back into your spirit. So a need for some quiet contemplation and reflection. And then we have the Page of Cups. It's been stormy at sea. It's been a rough tide. But he's holding his cup high still. And he's learning, I'm not exactly sure what it is on the ground, but he's pointing. I think it's a map. I think he's got a map. But the map kind of looks like a heart. Like if I turn it that way up, it kind of looks like a heart with all of the tubes coming off of it. And so it's finding your way back to your heart and holding that cup high, trusting it's not going to spill over. And even though it's been rough, you are balanced, and you need to relearn about your own heart. You need to remap yourself back to your heart. And then we've got your bonus cards, in which we get the Queen of Cups, Serenity. She's by the stream. She's like letting it all go downstream. She is emotionally serene and just meditative, intuitive, going into that heart space and that intuition, and just watching the river flow by and allowing what's not meant to be to drift on down the stream, drift on by. Let the good stuff come in and let the bad stuff go downstream, and just peacefully observing and acknowledging. Then we get the Page of Swords. And we have this maze in the back, almost like a labyrinth. And you will get some clarity starting to come back in. And like we had Hoggle confusing at the beginning and blindsiding us, we will start to master that maze once we move on and separate ourselves from this confusion and self-doubt. We'll get the clarity and the true knowledge, not the logic really, the self-belief and the self-realization and the self-mastery, stepping back into learning about our true self in order to navigate our life. Beautiful. And then we get Speak Your Mind. An exchange, and we start with the Hierophant, a religious figure. That person looks awfully Christ-like and quite religious, and they're exchanging ideas. The witch and the green man, or the witch and Jesus, or Christ, or a meeting of minds across this fault line. Expanding your ideologies and your mindset, and this growth of spirituality through forgiveness and knowing that you don't have to choose a side. You can be harmonious. You can see it from each other's point of view. And those got all these little wishes coming off of it as well. Massive healing vibes, massive unity vibes, massive exchange. And you know what? We have got Saturn, sorry, I've got a chart over here of where the planets are. We have got Saturn and Neptune, the big daddies, the big powers of the solar system, the elders of the solar system, conjunct at the moment. And Saturn is very the rules, the timings, the discipline, the structure. And Neptune is very like the belief, the spiritual woohoo, the intuition, the spark, the dreams, the messages and the feeling, the intent, and the faith that comes from nowhere, that has no grounding, no solidity, no structure, just pure faith. It's the meeting of those two minds, it's the meeting of those two energies. When they're conjunct, they are harmoniously working together. And that's what's going on here. You need to have a meeting of your own minds with yourself and know how to blend your own energy and come into unity with yourself and your situation. And that is your reading, door number 2. It was maybe a wee bit tricky. Oh, I didn't turn this one over, did I? You also get strength and resilience. Almost forgot one of your cards. And you will need strength and resilience. Look at this big kitty, sheltering little kitty. being its strength. Very Stonehenge-y. We've got the solstice coming up on the 21st of June. But it's standing strong no matter what comes at you. Standing strong in your belief, your newfound sense of belief. When you've reunited with yourself. Speak your mind about it and stand your ground with it. And that is your reading. Don't back down once you are. Be humble, but don't apologise for just being who you are and reconnecting with yourself and speaking your truth. You don't have to do it harshly. You can do it humbly, you can do it peacefully, but make sure it's your truth and not somebody else's. And that is the reading for pile number 2. It was a little bit turbulent, and you've been in some interesting, troubled places of indecision, but that is how you will guide yourself through. And trust that you can. Now entering door number 3. Door number 3. Your first 2 cards I have pulled from the Labyrinth deck. I don't know if you've seen the movie Labyrinth with David Bowie, the 80s one. Jim Henson, Brian Froud, puppety creatures. Fantastic puppety creatures. Jennifer Connelly, her little baby stepbrother, gets kidnapped by goblins and taken off to the Goblin City, where he is held by the king, who is Jared, David Bowie, the king of the Goblin City. And she has to find her way through this topsy-turvy maze labyrinth where nothing is what it seems. It's tricky, it's slippery, everyone's, talking in riddles. But she's got to go and rescue her brother, so she powers on. And, there's like trapdoors and people moving the signs and just frustrating, like not knowing where you're going and trying to fathom it all. Just like life, really. Twists and turns. And not really knowing who you can trust or which way to go. And that's why I've chosen the first 2 cards as from this deck. And the cards you get are Strength. And so needing to tune into your strength. We have got some planets in Leo. We have got Mars in Leo at the moment. And our Mars is our personal planet of power, of action. And in Leo, Leo is proud. Leo is regal. Leo likes to lead. And it likes to be strong. And it likes to be able to lead so that others will follow. And so you've got to be strong to lead yourself through this. And this is this big robot. This is quite funny, actually. This is so Leo. This is like a big tin robot thing that's like, like 30 foot high or something. And it seems all scary and big with clunky metal axe and stuff. But actually, it turns out that inside this suit is all the tiny little goblins. It's quite cowardly. It's like the Trojan horse. It's loads of like little people hiding inside a big thing. So it's having the genuine inner courage to not just be hiding behind a big bravado. That's what I'm getting. Maybe you have been hiding behind a big bravado. Maybe you've been shielding yourself from others or certain events that have been happening. Maybe you've been having to step into a false sense of strength and be seen as strong when actually you have not felt that way on the inside. But the strength card is not about finding a fake strength, it's about finding true strength and resilience from within. And that is something that Leo has to master. Finding that true sense of strength in yourself and not just the bravado. We then get the King of Poles, which is the King of Wands. He's very Mars energy and represents the fire signs, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries, the leadership, passionate signs of the zodiac, the extroverts. So we need to genuinely tune in to our sense of passion. We have a Sagittarian full moon coming up on the 12th here in the UK. And that is going to ask you about where your true passion is, where your true belief system is, and expanding it. Knowing where to expand your passion and your beliefs, and where your true passion and beliefs lie. Lie as in are, not like you're lying about them. Just to clarify. Sorry, I was eating some crisps. I was going to my funeral. I'm hungry. It's my first day back at work. For a week, and I went on a lovely holiday, and now I've gone back to work, and I seem to be just starving constantly now. Anyway, I digress. Your next two cards are the Ten of Cups. Beautiful. Extreme emotional fulfillment. All the wishes coming true. It's like the us now. And looking forward into the future of like, how do I want things, how do I want to leave this situation of emotional fulfillment to make my children happy, or my people happy, the people that are following me. If you're a leadership person, or you are someone who is seen as in a position of power, whether that just be as a parent, or I don't know, a teacher, or someone that someone looks up to for any reason. Like, how can I find emotional fulfillment in that? It also, with that Six of Pentacles at the beginning, that nostalgia can be looking back at what emotionally fulfilled me as a child, what gave me my passion. And is that still the same thing now that fills me with this abundant overflow of joy? There may need to be a reassessment in order for you to have this fulfillment. And are all my cups filled? And what will bring me this fulfillment? And then we have the Four of Pentacles, which also came up here. About this, I've come such a long way from this thing that made me feel lacking. I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back to Junk City behind me. I came so far from that, and I've got my treasures, whether they be the treasures of lessons, of wisdom, of financial wealth, of emotional wealth, whatever they are. I want to hold on tight. No one's going to take them from me, and I'm not going back to where I was when I did not have this. It's a fear of losing your sovereignty, fear of losing your dignity, maybe your power, whatever that be, financial or reputation, and fear of going back to a sense of lack. And like, what is it that actually fills you up? What does make you feel like this? Is it what you think it is? Actually, by letting go of things that once represented that, will you liberate yourself and actually make yourself happier? Because maybe the things that you're holding on to once represented your 10 of Cups, but maybe they don't anymore, and maybe actually liberating yourself of those things won't send you back into lack, because you've learned the lessons, you had the thing. But if it's not working for you anymore, if it doesn't feel true for you anymore, if it brings you no joy anymore, is it still as valuable as you thought it was? Is it worth clutching onto or not? And then we get the Hermit. So we have the Moon in Virgo as I pull this reading, and the Hermit represents Virgo. We also have the Venus in Aries conjunct Chiron at the moment, and Chiron is like a mini co-ruler. Mercury rules Virgo, but Chiron has a lot of Virgo associations, being the wounded healer, and Virgo having a lot of healing and need to heal and self-growth energy, and this like apprentice that wants to rise to mastery and being of service to everyone, and the wounds that can create and the need to heal that in order to find your mastery. And often that is done through detachment. The Hermit goes off and lives a humble life. Virgos are often very humble. They're not flashy people usually. Even if they have a lot of wealth or status, they are usually very still in some way humble with it, and not arrogant or abrasive about it. They're still very grounded people, very centered people, and they can worry too much, but they're grounded. They have this sort of humble stability about them. And this is the energy you need to go into in order to heal. Take a pause, reassess, get back in tune with yourself and what lights you up from within. Not what lights other people up, what lights you up. What grounds you, what centers you, what lights your lamp. Take away all the flashy stuff. The Hermit doesn't need it. Take away all of the stuff. Stop holding on to it mentally. Who are you? Who truly are you inside? Maybe it's not who you once were. You need to look back within. And then we get the Three of Pentacles, growth. So energies feeding into one another. So we've multiplied to 2, we've grown it, there's 2 participating back and forth, it's harmonious, and then we're trebling it. So from this Hermit, from this place of solitariness, we can actually find our true growth and begin again to start building again, start the cycle of growth again. And we do have a kind of church background here and a bit of an altar, so this might be about building towards a new commitment to yourself spiritually, recommitting to your soul and building a new sense of security in your soul and what is true to you. Building a new purpose, a new sense of purposefulness that is more in tune with who you are now and how far you have come. And then we have the Page of Cups. Little offer of love that might seem small, it might seem insignificant, it might seem like just a little smelly fish swimming around solitary in a cup, but actually it's growth, it's emotional growth. Double rainbow on the card. You can't all, when you're restarting, when you're rebuilding, when you're making new commitments, it's not going to be instant whammo results. It'll be a little thing, little bit by little bit of investment, be it emotional, financial, spiritual, whatever it is. These new commitments, this new solidarity, this new step by step building, and you'll start to get your first cup towards this 10 of Cups. You can't have all the cups at once, but it's the first one coming in after making a recommitment to yourself and taking the steps to rebuild with humble truth. And the cards you get, these are from the Archetypes deck by Kim Krantz, and I only chose, so it has cards that represent different archetypes in society, like, you know, the mother, the father, the this, that, the lover, the poet, all these different things. So the people, the players, the characters, and then we have it divided up 3 more times into the place, the setting, the tool in which we need to use, and the incantation, the magic that we need to go into to make it happen, or how it will happen. And we get the womb for your place. It's like a rebirth, and we have this, you know, triangle that's quite, you know, the womb, the uterus, V shape, and then we have all these little tiny seedy, like egg things that could be, you know, seeds of a plant. It kind of reminds me of like fish roe. I was eating a lot of fish roe and urchin roe while I was in Portugal. It reminds me of that, like this multitude of clusters of eggs, like all these different possibilities growing, new life growing, a new beginning growing from this dark space. And right in the centre is the pearl. Again, comes from the sea, comes from out of your oysters, the pearls. Or is it clams and scallops? One of them, one of the lovely sea creatures. I think it's oysters. I don't know. Scallop, clam, oyster, I'm not sure. One of them has pearls in. And that's your sovereignty. That's your sovereignty, even. At the centre of that new beginning, it's like finding this fertile void within yourself with the hermit, letting it grow, and just like growing those seeds, and that's where the true treasure is. That's where the pearl is. You'll get to it. You're seeding, you're like reseeding a new beginning. It's lovely. Lovely! And then we get the storm. So sometimes things can be quite a dramatic passing of events. Leo's quite good at being dramatic. But we have this lightning bolt like an epiphany. And, you know, it rained last night here. It rained really hard. And I was feeling a bit emotional and frustrated, actually, about a few things. And the rain came and it broke and it was just hammering against the window. And I felt at peace. And it felt like a release. And you know, we've got the womb. No woman that has ever given birth, I don't think, has ever described it as peaceful. I don't know who these people are. If they have, I mean, well done you. But generally, birth is like this explosion of emotions, of events, of stuff, of things that we need not mention. But the birth of something, it's like it's new life. It's new life coming in, and it's in a dramatic, like, big way. It's explosive, like a whole new person has just entered the world, and they cry. Everyone cries. There's lots of pain. It's messy, but it's beautiful messy. It's the emergence of the soul messy. It's like the best kind of messy. And so it's massive rebirth. It's a dramatic awakening, reawakening. And we get growth from the Beltane seasons of the Witch Death. Inside myself, I've sown beauty with wounds at Chiron conjunct Venus, which speaks of my immortality in the expansive eternal song, softly bellowing in my spirit. I feel like you may have some Virgo and Leo energy, a go-go in your chart, generally as a person. And you might be quite an old soul. And it's a card about healing and growing from it, essentially. Look at the vines growing out of the fingers, like veins unfurling. All these new possibility, all this new life, all these new bloods, like all that cluster of eggs. And just the wind, you know, the storm, there's like this magnitude of wind where it's like big, it's colossal, it's violent almost. But then after the storm, it's like the calm before the storm, but then after the storm has passed, it's calm again. And you just got the gentle billowing of letting it pass. There's a lot of healing here. I feel like there's a fear of falling, or a fear of exploding, a fear of volatility. But once you've centered yourself and you fully know your truth and where your passion lies, then, you know, maybe it will be explosive when you declare it to yourself or whoever or the world. But that's your growth point. As long as it's honest, it's true, your truth, and you're not actually physically violent, then this is your growth point. To be able to let go. There's so much about letting go in order to begin again. To grow, to regrow, and grow your new beginning. And then we have 2 from the Tarot of the Abyss. And they are the King of Wands and the Ace of Cups. Passion and emotional renewal. The King of Wands, did we not have him earlier? He came up in another reading, in one or two, or both of them. He's been in every single one. It's Mars energy, it's fire energy, it's all the fire signs energies, as I was saying. And very much that sort of Mars in Leo again. And tuning into that inner fire. Look, he's sort of like drawing that inner fire up out of the ground. He's a very passionate king, and he's can be quite flamboyant. He's very in tune with his passion and his feeling and his creativity, and creating big experiences for himself. Which is lovely. And then the Ace of Cups, this emotional, I mean, in this one, look at it, it's like bursting out, this emotional, like, woo! It's like a clarity, it's like a cleansing, and like newfound emotional abundance, just like bursting out, and it's fresh, and it's new, like a wave. So we've got these big energies, big energies of passion, of big like heart space feeling. Leo is very in its heart, very heart spaced, and very loving, and very like full of this warmth, this warm explosive joy is what I'm getting. It's lovely, it's absolutely lovely. Like, let it rip, girl or guy. And you know, this big release. We then finally have joy and delight. Look at the animals frolicking. Look at the lady frolicking in her red dress. Passion. And this, like, so we had this Six of Cups at the beginning. This like reckless abandon, like I'm in my joy, like, you know, when you're a kid, you're just like cartwheeling around the field in summer, like in the sunlight. You're not worried about if you're gonna like bust your wrist or anything. You just do it, and you feel free. It's freedom, and it's joy, and it's being silly and allowing yourself to feel free and happy and joyful and silly and passionate. And this, you know, it's this woohoo, like spiral of woohoo there, and this spiral of woohoo feeling coming out here, and this spiral of fire and heat and warmth there is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And then your final cards, your bonus cards. Did I say about the Sagittarian full moon, this fiery moon, forcing you to get real about your dreams, as well as choose, you know, your spiritual path and expand it, and get real about what is working for you in your beliefs. Get real about your beliefs and investing in your real, true beliefs and what they are. You get the moon. This Sagittarian full moon, very fiery. It's going to be big for you. This storm card and this womb card and these lovely joy and delight, King of Wands, Ace of Cups. It's like tuning back into your passion and letting it rip the way only fire signs quite know how. But we do, there's always a but. Sorry, there's always a but. We do have the Seven of Swords. Deception can be a little bit of, with the moon as well, there can be some delusion, some sneaking around in the dark, kind of vibes. Some not seeing things quite clearly. And so maybe this is, while you might want to throw caution to the wind and go big, big, big and let rip, you might need just a smidge. Or you might be struggling with this energy at the beginning. Like I said about the sort of misdirection of it looking like a really big thing, like a big monster, but inside it's just tiny little goblins who are actually terrified and will run away in the end when the big suit of monster unveils the truth. And you might be afraid deep down of showing your true self and showing your true passion, or afraid that those who have been loyal to you so far in life, you might be worried about them thinking you're a fraud if you suddenly have this unleashing of new beginning and change, this massive expansion that differs maybe from what they know, but that's a risk you're going to have to take. And just know it's your truth. And it says connect to Gaia and look at the roots and the stones. It's like Stonehenge, and the eyes lit up on the tree, wisdom, and this big, again, expansion. Like, this is me, unashamed, here I am showing up as I am. And the roots are grounding, they've got her by the ankles. And so it's standing strong in your self-belief and not being afraid of being seen as a fraud or duplicitous in some way or false. And it's like having the strength and conviction, going back to that strength card, the strength and conviction to see it through and honour your sovereignty, honour your passion, and know undoubtedly that it's you expressing your truth, whether people question it or not, or question your authenticity or not. You know your authenticity. And if that upsets those people, then that upsets those people, doesn't it? But the ones that truly are your true followers in life, your true people, your true tribe, they'll stick with it, they'll know. And the ones that don't see you in your new true self, let them go. Let them wash away in the storm. And that is your reading, doorway number 3. It was big, it was explosive, it was expansive. I loved it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Mwah. Thank you for watching for Flow with Chloe.